Howdy, Banger Pals. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews. This one's a week late because Darkthrone barely announces albums and doesn't send out promo before the release. So it leaves us all scrambling. But here it is for you. Here's some Darkthrone.
On the outskirts of what the glaciers left us, symbiotic in fate, so old and tired. They created dynamic structures of living, meticulously sheltering and harvesting the either.
The album's called Darkthrone. It Beckons Us All, with a lot of dots. I mean, it's 7 dots, which is weird because an ellipses is 3 dots. So maybe it's like 2 ellipses and then a period, but a period wouldn't really come. It came out April 26th on Peaceville Records. I mean, it's Darkthrone. Do I still need to do this? From music to culture to hell, memes. They're a band whose impact really just can't be overstated. Just thinking about them makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. And they're no longer a simple black metal band. They've constantly added, tweaked, and changed their formula to the point where they've just been Darkthrone, and they've just been Darkthrone for years now. How does this album add to what amounts to like a human lifetime of output? What does it do to shake up the constantly evolving Darkthrone formula? Let's chat. It kind of sucks. That's a shakeup. I swear this isn't some Blayne hot take where I crap all over our heroes. I know I'm at this point sort of the boy who cried wolf on this sort of thing, except in my specific case, there's a wolf every single time, and a few of you give the wolf $20. The wolf bites you, and you leave a comment that's like, that's what wolves are supposed to do. I guess you're just a poser who's never heard of insert one of the most mainstream death metal acts of all time. We're still in the Doom Throne period of our thrones, and there just isn't a lot here. The album is, I guess, a logical progression from Astral Fortress. There's a bunch of cool new ideas, and I just wish they went further with them and used them more on that album. On this album, there are fewer new ideas, and they're more spaced out, so that technically tracks, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to get excited about here. There isn't a lot, or maybe there is. I don't know. This is the most conflicted I've ever felt about a Darkthrone album. If you don't know the type of Darkthrone fan I am, a great man once said,
I celebrate the guy's entire catalog. Anyway.
Outside of the classics, Crust Throne is like my personal favorite period, but I have been enjoying this one. So maybe it's just they didn't do themselves any favors with the pre-release hype of dropping a great track like In Black Dawn Affiliation, and then pairing it with that weird quote where they were like, this is the first time we've shook hands since we met, which is really like saying, hey, this is our best album to date. So I was very pumped going into things, and maybe there is a great record in here, but Howling Primitive Colonies is easily the weakest track on the whole thing, and it's like track number 1. So every time I listen, I just get brought down, and I have to wait for the album to pick me back up. But I'm drunk, the album's drunk, so it's working out as well as there is stuff I like here, but then there's this weird imbalance where it sounds like the band is just uninspired, and then sometimes they sound like they're really feeling something. I'm getting like a disc 2 of a special edition feel where these are like alternate versions of tracks or tracks that didn't make the cut. The album is very uneven, and like, seriously, does this opening to a record get you pumped for the rest of it?
Build a ship, dwell on the planets, howling, primitive, colonies recoil.
I'm definitely not trying to say it's over for Darkthrone, they're lazy, or they're just trying to cash in, this album's a ripoff, because when they nail it, they nail it in glorious Darkthrone perfection. Like in the trouble-causing single Black Dawn affiliation, that's the reason I got so hyped for the album. Both Culto and Fenriz deliver some top tier, even by their standards type stuff. Culto works on a great riff all song that shows he's just got an endless sack of these things. He's just been carrying around a bag for almost 40 years, pulling out constant amazing from it. And Fenriz keeps busy on the kit too, which makes the song a real body mover. It is a great foot to lead with, unless everything else doesn't live up to it. Hell, even the album cover by Zabin Gnu Bilak? Yeah, I'm sure that's how that's pronounced. Wrong! But yeah, even that cover is like, dude, this is gonna be crazy. Look at this thing. Ah! And with this last one, I don't technically know if this is a strength or something that I hate about the album, because it's amazing. It sounds amazing, but it lasts like a minute and a half of the very end of the album, and that's all we get. But the boys chose to end things with a weird what if Darkthrone was a 70s rock band mood, and what's that? That's the fucking album I want. Give me that album. What the hell? It could also be the production that's giving me issues. It's produced incredibly well from a technical perspective. There's a great soundstage with lots of depth, and when the album's at its height, it's filling the room. There's like a tangible space you can feel, but as a result of this tangible space, when things are more stripped back and doomy, it feels like one guitar is up front, everything else is in the back, and there's like this vacancy in the middle where it feels like something should be. It's like a celery sandwich on some nice bread. Like, what? No, there needs to be something between this bread, guys. This is a $17 sandwich. And if the production is a weird sandwich, the album structure is like it's a deconstructed riff on a sandwich, man. Album start bad, kind of meh instrumental in the middle. Album closer, while it suffers from being a little long, is a cool experiment, but it's led into by 4 minutes of whatever the opposite of an experiment is, I don't know, just a simple machine running. So yeah, I don't know. I can't get into a groove. I can't feel a vibe. The guys literally watch over me, like right there at all times. So this was not a negative review I want to give. I mean, like there's also a photo of them over there, level fan of this band. I just can't remember the last time I was this unenthused about Darkthrone. It's just kind of boring. I'm not mad because it doesn't feel like a cash grab. It just feels like they shot a shot and missed. I've heard some positive response to this album, so maybe it's just a divisive one and I fell in the wrong spot, because honestly, Black Dawn affiliation is amazing, and with some editing, so would the Lone Pines of the Lost Planet, but there's just as much on here that's just, I don't know, forgettable. Like, there's been a lot of questions in the comments lately about review scores, like, oh, this is a 3, but this is a 3, this is a 3.5. The albums aren't like an objective number. Like, there's a reason we talk for 10 minutes before we give something a 2.5. It's not a 2.5, it's a 2.5 with 10 minutes of talk attached to it. So that's why it might not necessarily compare to another 2.5. If you want to know what a 1 is, I've heard someone say, what would a 1 album be? I gave Machine Head a 1. That's a 1. This one, I'm rambling because I don't want to give this a 2.5. So there is stuff I really like about this album. I love Darkthrone, but I think I've got to give it 2.5 out of 5 skulls that are sad boys. What doesn't make me sad is Shoutouts. Giving you more albums. I give you the Metal Monthly review albums. There's the tip sheet over on Patreon, and the close it out with still more albums. So if you do like black metal, I know Darkthrone isn't really black metal anymore, but it's talking about Darkthrone, and Signal Rex is doing that weird thing again where they just blast out a bunch of black metal records on the same day that isn't the normal day albums released. So if you like black metal, Signal Rex released Mons Veneris, which sounds like a slang for vagina, Ascent into Draconian Abyss. That's some cool stripped down black metal, and Svart Relentless Downfall, which is some more kind of big production black metal. So two different types of black metal to go with the Darkthrone record. Am I wrong about this album? I'm happy to be wrong about this one. I'll take this L. Let me know in the comments below if I'm just a moron and you think it's amazing, and if I missed something, please prove me wrong on this one. I would love that.